Hello and welcome back to what is part 3 of the Sunbeam Resto. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. All right, so let's start tearing down the motor, the engine. After running it last time, it seemed to be okay, but I am rather curious to see what it's like. It looks like over its life it may well have been reasonably well serviced, but look, it's hard to tell. I mean, this thing is what, 50 years old, so you know, who knows. But anyway, let's have a look anyway. Probably should have sprayed that. Probably should put some gloves on too, I would imagine. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it now. All right. Now I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Try again. All right, after much struggle, I was unable to remove the flywheel, so I'll have to think about that. So we'll keep tearing it down. Okay. Okay, very good. And take off the decompressor. Okay. Take the plug out. Gasket. Let's have a look inside. I don't know. There's quite a lot of oil in there. Let's have a look. Okay. Not too bad. As you can see, I am no mechanic, but then again, I don't profess to be, but I'm very, very interested in how things work, and I'm always willing to learn and take advice. And I get a real buzz out of fixing things and keeping things alive. Like these old mowers, for example, you know, they get tossed out all the time. I don't know how many go into landfill every year. I wouldn't be surprised at the figures. But you know, if you go to Bunnings and you buy something, and how long is it going to last? You know, you've got to ask yourself, you know, you're going to get 5 years out of something. I was having a look down the aisle of Bunnings the other day, and the price of some mowers, you know, up over $1,000, and you know, they don't really look anything flash. So you know, I like to try and keep stuff going as long as I can, you know, and just love to repair stuff and find out how things work. And I'll probably have to thank my wonderful brother for that, because when I was quite young, back in the 70s, my brother worked for a motor mower mechanic, and he passed on a lot of that knowledge to me, even though I was only probably about 5 or 6 years old. And I do vividly remember at that age too, stripping down Sunbeam and doing a bit of work on it with him. So this is so look, you know, I really quite enjoy this sort of thing. I do not know what the hell I'm doing, but you know, I don't care. Now this is a 160cc. I believe the 160cc engines have the straight through rods. With the 125s, slightly different appearance. I'd have to see if I can bring up a picture of one. But these are, yeah, look, this one, this piston does look very, very scored itself. The barrel itself doesn't, the bore itself doesn't actually look that bad. I'll have to decipher the markings on here as well. Haven't sort of looked into that yet, but this might be a 20,000 over piston. I'm not really sure. I'll have to check that out. And there's a little bit of play in it. So we'll pull the we'll pull the piston off anyway, and see what's underneath. I might take these out too. Yeah. They'll come straight out. All right, just about there. Just about there. Very stubborn, this one. There we go. All right, let's have a look and see. Okay. There's a little bit of movement, no up and down movement, a little bit of side movement, but not really too much to worry about. It doesn't look bad. Gee, it looks good in there. I'll well, we'll keep going anyway. Right, so okay, there's one. This one out. There's two. Keep them aside, don't want to lose them. Okay, it's coming out. All right. All right, that piston looks pretty much knackered. There's a little bit of wear on the rings there as well. So I dare say we'll be replacing that. I'm glad I did strip it down. And piston probably comes with a new pin as well, so we'll replace that. However, the crank, the conrod doesn't seem too bad, but I don't know what the bearings are like inside, so it's a bit of a risk, but I think we might I don't know. What do you reckon? Shall we or shall we not? I reckon we think about it for a bit. We'll see how we go. All right, so I've cleaned up the bore a bit, and it is stuffed basically. If you look inside, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a big score right. There's a big score right along here. Very, very deep score. So I dare say we're going to have to go back to the drawing board on this. I think what I might do is I might pull the engine off the other Sunbeam and have a look, although I did rebuild it 15 years ago and it's run really well, so I might alright, we might pull the motor out of that then and have a look, and I'll have to do something about this flywheel. I still couldn't get it off. I might have to use a harmonic balancer remover, and I can tap these three holes. Actually look like they've never been tapped, so this has probably never been off. So I can probably remove that, and then we'll strip it down further, and we'll get a look inside here. Look, this conrod and crank seems okay. So we'll but you know, look, the bearings inside might be stuffed. So look, I think we'll pull it down, but I'll have to get the tool to do this. I can't do this for the time being, but we will pull a motor off the other Sunbeam, I think, and maybe just use the best parts that we've got, put them together. All is not lost, folks. I didn't want to have to do it, but unfortunately I'm going to have to. So we're going to strip this one down, and we'll use the best parts we have out of both to make a good one. I thought we had two good runners, but it wasn't to be, but never mind. That's the way it goes, you know. $10 for a mower, you know, you really can't complain. You don't know what you're going to get. But anyway, let's get stuck in. It's starting to rain. Before we start, up a cup of tea. Nice cup of vanilla chai. Fuelers mug. Oh, we've used this cap too. Look at that. It's one of the old style with the sort of like an indicator as to how much fuel is left. All right, finally found the right sized socket. Whatever you do, folks, do not listen to a single thing I say. If you follow my advice, I guarantee you will be headed down a path of destruction. So whatever you do, don't listen to anything I do, and don't. All right, let's press on. Oh no, seriously, it's not that bad really. I know a little bit about it, but not too much. But you know, I just enjoy doing this sort of stuff, you know. I just love it. All right. Let's see. We've got... Okay, got to take a couple of bolts out of the back as well. What size they are, they might be 14 mil. 14 and different sizes. Okay. 14, 13, surely. Probably Imperial. So, oh no. 113, 114. Okay. Okay, we'll start with the 13 mil. Now, that should be one. Whoops. Oh, what's going on there? All right. Okay, we'll just unclip that off there and disconnect the fuel. Okay, that fuel line is knackered. I'm just going to cut it. And we'll remove the top. Make sure there are no red backs in there. Actually, I should have checked that first. Okay. Well, this could be actually a good thing because we've got the G3 carb, which I really like. I love these old aluminium carbs, much more so than the G4. So, I could probably use the other one anyway, but I think, look, we might stick with this, I think. So, let's press on. Okay. That's much better than the other one. Okay. Let's see. Whoa! Daddy long legs. There's bound to be a spider in there somewhere. Okay. Oops. I'll take this carburetor off. I've had this carby off many times for cleaning. Sorry folks, it's a little bit dark. The old G3 carb, we'll probably reuse that one. Okay. Okay, now I am faced with the same problem here of removing this flywheel. I don't have the tool to do it, which I will obtain shortly, but we can at least have a look inside. Okay. Now I think I replaced this muffler last time I did the rebuild, so this one's probably, even though it doesn't look like it is, it's probably in much better condition internally than the other one, so we'll probably reuse that. But we'll get the plug out for starters. Actually, I'll just put these bolts aside so I don't lose anything. Okay. Yep. Probably should get one of those Victa spark plug removal tools as well. Right, that plug is pretty much knackered. Okay. Now I know I've been in here before. I'll just make sure that these washers don't go flying everywhere. That's good, they won't. Okay. Well, that gasket as well and truly had it. See if we can get this in here. Interesting. A bit stubborn. There we go. Okay. Look. Oops. Try not to get too much dirt back in there. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah. Now I haven't run this mower for a long time, and upon initial inspection, even with my terrible eyesight, it doesn't actually look bad. Actually, this is absolutely beautiful. This is lovely. This is way better. Okay. Have a look at the piston. Well, the piston I did replace. and we'll take it off and have a look. Let's see this one. Okay, now this conrod has a lot more movement than the other one. A lot of side to side movement, nothing really up and down, but a lot more side to side movement than the other one. So we might be mixing and matching, I think. So just upon, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's not too crash hot. Doesn't look as good. The other one looks way better. So, I think we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there for now, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. All right, folks. Just before I go, we're going to mix and match. The piston obviously is superb in that in the second motor, and the bore is much better as well, and there's very little oil residue, unlike the previous one. However, the conrod does have a lot more movement, so we'll probably have a look at the bearings in the other one as well, and we'll get the flywheels off both and pick the best parts and put the best engine together. See you soon. Cheers.